Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Q&A, and this one's going to be for the 450,000 subscriber Q&A. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this milestone. I'm very eternally grateful to just all you guys for sticking around on the channel and just for the community that we've built. We're going to start over here on Patreon. Like usual, patrons get to go first, and then we're going to go over to YouTube and we're going to run through a bunch of you guys' comments over on YouTube. Like usual with these Q&As, nothing's off limits. Very rarely do I not answer something. So let's just get right into it. So Caleb Cooper says, hey Naruto Explain, do you have a video planned for Mitsuki's potential power-up? Boruto, Sarada, and now Kawaki have completely left him in the dust with their power-ups. What do you think Mitsuki could do to close the gap? So funny enough, I did a Mitsuki video after you posted this. I do a lot of the content, well in advance, even though I upload daily. Like patrons can attest to this. Like there are videos here on the Patreon behind the paywall that say the Sarada video you guys just saw earlier this week on how strong Sarada is. That video was up in May, I believe, either May or April, one of those 2 months. I do videos well in advance, and for the Mitsuki one, for chapter discussions, those are more so done when the chapter comes out. I write out all the topics I want to do, and I get as much of that done as possible. I just book a week off and edit everything and upload everything to a playlist and just kind of go from there. So I said to say I did a Mitsuki video. I do think that he's in line, because if you just kind of follow the trend of what we have with how Boruto's Hubu Vortex been doing everything, it's been placing a big focus on characters removing mental blocks. And Sarada's gotten hers out the way. Kawaki's gotten a physical mental block out the way in the form of those limiters that Amato placed on him. Boruto's going to Momoshiki, so he's going to get over his fear using the Chroma Seal. So Mitsuki's going to be next, and I do think it's going to be probably something to do with the whole sun and the moon dynamic, because Ikimoto brought it up, which makes me think we're finally going to get a payoff for that. So looking at Aokiji, the Forsaken Storyteller, what's good, man? You just got some good stuff. Also do fanfics. So let's see. Yo, what's good, Naruto Explain? Kind of a question and a thank you blend on this one. Okay, I know you were an editor at one point, but have you ever considered pursuing writing at one point, either for passion's sake or otherwise? Anyway, appreciate everything you do, man. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, bit of a lore dump. So I was an editorial assistant, and I've got a couple mentors. One's won some awards for some of the writing that she's done, at least last decade. In the 2010s, she was winning awards. And then I got another mentor that has one bestseller book. So that was kind of cool on there. Little bit of a fun fact is one of my mentors actually got me a job for a editorial assistant position. So I learned a lot from them. If you hear me do a lot of storytelling stuff, you hear me talk about stuff like free and direct discourse, or you hear me talk about payoff and etc. A lot of that language I use really and truly comes from just having spent years underneath their thumb. As far as writing, I do like writing, and I really get off on when I read stories, paying attention to sentence structure. I always tell people, if you want to pursue writing as a passion, and I know there's a couple patrons that are in the Patreon Discord server that's really their thing, I always recommend the book called How to Write a Sentence. And the title feels like it's condescending, but it isn't, because there's so much more to writing a sentence than noun, verb, adverb, subject, predicate, etc. The stuff you learn in elementary school. There's a lot more to it than that. There's ways you can structure sentences to dictate the speed in which you go through a story, or you can play with alliteration. There's a lot of different things that writers do when it comes to how they structure sentences, where if you pick up on it, you realize that they're really dictating the flow. It's very similar to how a mangaka, depending on how they panel stuff, they can make you read through chapters very quickly. if you get through a manga very fast, it's because that mangaka wants you to go through the chapter fast because now it's panel. Writing sentences is the same thing. So I said to say, yeah, I mean, writing's a passion. I do write privately. I haven't put anything out there per se in the sense of like under my own name, but it is something like I have kind of thought about. And one of my mentors, I've actually got her book on my bookshelf, and that was one of the things that she was getting on to me about. This was in the, I want to say 2014. She put on there, hold on, so I'm gonna go get the note. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Hold on. Okay, here it is, and I'll put the photo on there so people know I'm not capping. I'm gonna block out the name because I do not want, just for protection reasons, privacy reasons. For Ian, you have so many amazing stories to tell. Right, I can't wait to read. I can't wait to read them. That's kind of always been in the back of my mind there, because she was always pushing me to kind of tell my stories. Like, I've told some of them in the Patreon Discord server. I've had one hell of a life, man. And when you write what you know. And that's a big part of the reason why she's like, I read like the short stories that you write, and, these feel like they could be something bigger. You really need to consider writing more seriously and put your name on it. No more pen name stuff. Like, I don't mind putting on there like for Ian, because number one, that's a common name. Number two, that's a nickname. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to give my real name on YouTube. So, it's just one of those things. Like, she's gotten on to me about it, and a few other people. When you've lived through a lot of stuff I've lived through, there are a lot of stories you can tell, and there are stories that can help people. And it isn't just like for nonfiction. You could craft a lot of stuff from a fiction perspective in terms of how you write things. A lot of fiction, if you talk to the authors, they sprinkle in some of their own life experiences into it. But yeah, that's definitely a passion of mine, man. Let me move on. I can go on. I can literally go on all day about just the subject of writing in general. Shyrose says, would you consider doing a video about how good Sasuke's kenjutsu is? Maybe give insights. Ooh, okay. Yes, that's actually a good ass topic. I don't think anybody's done that. I really don't think anybody's done that video on YouTube. Like, I don't watch a lot of anime channels, so like my reference point, really true, I don't watch any anime channels. Like I'll keep up with Axel Beats, but I have to kind of mute his channel because I'm still getting caught up on One Piece. And I know he did that huge One Piece video, and like I'll keep up with Panel Focus because of my guy Nox and Greek Weeb and Soul. But for the most part, I don't watch anime content because I don't want to get influenced. Any takes you hear me say, it has to be mine. But I'm aware of what people do, because YouTube tells you what videos your audience watch. So chances are, like if there's a big video, it's got high watch time or it's got high views, one or the other, the dashboard tells me. I'm like, oh, okay, so people kind of looking at this. So based on my limited scope, I don't think anybody's touched on that, but that might be a good topic. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that one. And I've talked myself into it now. All right, let's see. Jay Briz. Okay, the Nico Robin defender. Not a question, but a thank you. Thanks for the Discord and all the great content. I consider you somewhat of a mentor with all the advice you've given and knowledge you drop, so shout out to you, man. Big appreciate that. Big ups. Now my question, how much longer do you think Boruto realistically has, and do you see yourself doing full-time after? Pull a teching and switch series, or scale back and do more lore content? Okay, so Boruto, in my humble opinion, I feel like it's 2025 now. I think Boruto's manga, before the rebrand, I would have said that Boruto's manga would have ended in 2027, but I'm of the belief that you don't do a all-out rebrand like this. Like in Japan, Dragon Ball ran as just one big manga, Dragon Ball for 42 volumes. Naruto was Naruto for 72 volumes, 73 if you count Naruto Gaiden. there was no Naruto Shippuden manga. There was no Dragon Ball Z manga in Japan. So I said to say, had it just stayed as Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, I probably would have said Boruto ends around 30, 33 volumes. Right now, we're in volume 6. Okay, post-recording clarification. I made a gaffe here. So apparently we're in volume 7 because we're getting into chapter 26. So we are halfway through volume 7 right now. So just add an extra volume to whatever it is I'm about to say right after this. I could see... I don't think Boruto goes to 40 volumes total. I think 2028. I think 2028 is probably when it wraps up. And I know that sounds crazy. Some people could like, that's less time than Naruto. But you gotta understand, this is a monthly manga. And for a monthly manga, this is already a veteran. Like, once it got past a year and a half as a monthly manga, it was a veteran. But like, Boruto is already running longer than Full Metal Alchemist. It's on pace to surpass Attack on Titan and how long it's running. So it's one of those things, like, I could see Boruto probably, like, when we get to volume 15 or 16 of Two Blue Vortex, I think it's over. So like I said, 2028, I'm more likely thinking it's either in the final arc or it's over. Let's see. Do you see yourself doing full-time after? So yeah, so like, I've always said, like, if Boruto stopped today, I literally have a spreadsheet with 547 video topics that are on there that are strictly lore videos that I have not done videos for. So I could realistically continue to just do videos, and that's just on Naruto content. I would 100% pull what Geekdom 101 did. Like, Dragon Ball Super ended in 2018, and Geekdom 101 is still doing Dragon Ball content because Dragon Ball is a lore pit and Naruto is an even bigger lore pit. And I just love Naruto that much. So I mean, it's just one of those things, like, I would do it, you know. So yeah, I would continue to do it. Would I pull a Tekking 101 and switch series? So yeah, so like, Tekking used to be a Bleach YouTuber, and I used to watch Tekking back in the day. And then once he switched to One Piece, I was like, oh my God, I'm going through One Piece. I can't get spoiled. So like, I like unsubbed and muted the guy's channel and muted all the socials and everything. I didn't want nothing to do with him because I'm doing blind reactions on One Piece, and it's a genuine blind reaction. So it was one of those things, like, I had to stop following some of my favorite creators. But I said to say, I wouldn't do that with Tekking because, number one, I have to rename the channel because I can't really call it Naruto Explained. And the other thing, like, I've already got Anime Explained and the Everything One Piece Explained channel. So like, what I would probably end up doing is, instead of doing daily, and those like 500 something videos is strictly Naruto. That's not even counting Boruto. Boruto's expanded the lore. But like, I would probably scale back to doing 3, maybe 4 videos a week instead of daily content. And I would put more resources onto the Everything One Piece Explained and the Anime Explained channels. Like, I would kind of go more so that direction. You know, the benefit to Naruto Explained is like, there's so much back-end content, because like, there's 1,400 Naruto uploads on the channel because I upload daily, and just Naruto. And like, this channel's 7 years old. Like, it's only been in the last couple of years that I've been more Boruto focused. 2.5 to 3 years I've been more Boruto focused. Everything before that was mostly Naruto. So it's one of those things, like, there's so much back end stuff where I can afford to take a loss on some videos, etc. Like, if, say, I pay someone $200 to edit a video and I only make 150 on it because it only did 15,000 views or something like that, I can afford it because I've made up for it elsewhere. So I would divert some resources over into the other channels. Now, the big question on that would be, is the Naruto community able to do what Dragon Ball did. Because like Dragon Ball is still going strong. I kind of feel like at times the Naruto community kind of moves on. So it'll be curious, especially the Boruto community. Boruto community moves on very quickly. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I would go back to more lore content because I got content I ain't done. I just do as much Boruto content because that's what you guys want. And the number one thing that I've been told by other creators and by my partner manager, people like Roberto Blake, like I was hesitant to do Boruto content, and Roberto Blake was like, I've looked at some of your stuff on this is my original channel. I've looked at some of your original stuff. You really need to focus more on Boruto, even though you don't want to talk about it as much. Give it a second opinion, and I did that. I gave it a second look, and I don't regret it. But I said to say, you guys dictate the type of content I do. So like to people that bitch and moan that I do manga discussions, you're milking manga discussions. Why are you doing this? It's because that's what you guys want. I do the manga discussion video and it's 11 minutes of watch time, which like for the channel, I'm just at 9 minutes, either just at or just a little above 9 minutes. So it's like you guys dictate. So I guess that's a long-winded answer. All right, let's see. Adam, add ham to it says, add ham to it. Why did I just now catch that? That image cracks me up. Yeah, you know, because like Sasuke with the dinosaur, that's an old good one, man. Let's see. Tommy Bunny Bread. Let's see what our beloved Filler King has to say. If you are Inoji got a hole in his chest, by the way. If you're in the Patreon Discord server, you get that reference. Inside joke. Let's see. How would you feel if they decided to release an English Naruto musical? I think that, no, they have a stage play in Japan. That would be kind of interesting. I would go see it. P.S. So far, my One Piece read, I'm on your side. Nami, you are the best. Nami is my favorite character so far. You are the best. Jay Briz, Bright, IK Time, bow down. Tommy took my side. Again, patrons will get that reference. All right, let's see over here on YouTube, man. Let's see what you guys are doing over on YouTube, man. I'm gonna run through all of these. So if you're not answered in this one, yeah, it's gonna be answered in the next one or the one after that. I'm gonna run through all of these. Let's see. And if I butcher names, if I just suddenly call you Bob or Sarah or Rose or whatever, it's because I can't pronounce the name. You are not a Japanese anime character, so I will feel bad if I say your name wrong. Okay, let's see what we got here. Michael Griffin says, been here since 2019, dog. So about a year after the channel started. That's what's up. I think you had hit or were just close to 100K. Yeah, so like I think I hit 100K on this channel in 7 months. Like that's like the benefit of I started from another channel that was at 87,000 subscribers before it got shut down for 9 months. And so I already had like a built-in subscriber base. And so I got like 10,000 subs like my first 3 weeks of getting back on YouTube. So yeah, that sounds about right. Because it took me a while to recoup the subs that left. So let's see what we got here. But either way, it's been a joy being on this ride through my first time watching. No, wow. To you getting me into Boruto manga. And now getting to watch each chapter review for Two Blue Vortex. You're a G. And it's so dope to continue to watch you grow. Much deserved. I appreciate you, man. The first chapter review I watched, I believe, was the Boruto chapter when Jigen appeared in Konoha and kicked Naruto through his effing house, bro. Such good time. Yeah, I remember those, man. And like, I was way more critical of Boruto back then. Because, you know, I tell you exactly what I feel with the chapter reviews. I'm less critical now because things that I used to complain about, Ikimoto has addressed. It's almost like I'm consistent in that regard. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Timba Petro says, time to give props where it's due. The 450K sub speaks volumes to the quality of work you put out in your videos. With special thanks to your editors. I appreciate you, man. Like, I've had to scale back on some of the editing. Some of it is I'm still waiting on some editors to get some stuff done. It's a small team. I can't work with as many because I got other financial obligations away from YouTube. So I've had to kind of scale back as far as like the number of people that I was working with, including a couple guys that were long-term editors for me, like the guy that did the Kakashi Redstone videos. Like I want to say like from you go on that playlist, like the 4th or the 5th video down, everything after that was him. I've had to kind of scale back, but there's more stuff being loaded up. Like a lot of what you're seeing is edited by me, but you can really tell like when editors work on something like the chapter review or the how strong is Teen Sarda or every Uzumaki clan member explained, every ice release, all 9 ice release users explained. You can see it on videos like that, and you can see it in other content where they're editors, man. You know, 2026, our goal is to raise that up and just have more. So that's gonna be the next thing, because I finally got enough people in place that are doing it within my budget range to where I can at the very least break even. Because at the end of the day, it is partially a business too. I don't mind running in the red on, and for people who don't do business, the red means taking a loss. I don't mind running a loss on certain videos because at the end of the day, it's about back end stuff. Like on that Anime Explain channel, that every numbered kaiju video is up to 200,000 views now. It was at 60 or 70 this time last year. Same like with the Sasuke and Sakura love story video on this channel. I think that's at 90,000. If I don't mind running a loss if it's an evergreen video. So just like a little behind the scenes curtain on there, but like that's the goal next year, do more evergreen content. RMX 1001. Congrats, man. We love to see it. I got 2 questions. What's good. What really drove you into putting out content for us viewers? I would assume it would be a mix of different things. If so, I like to hear it all if you don't mind. 2, do you think Naruto could technically rescind Uzuhiko? No, I don't think Naruto. And that's the thing, like when Jura reversed Uzuhiko, a lot of people thought Naruto could do it. I don't think Naruto could actually pull that off. I really don't think Naruto could pull that off. And part of the reason is like Jura has a much larger chakra pool than Naruto. If Boruto hit Naruto with Uzuhiko, Naruto would be doing the woozy the way that Code was. So no, I don't think so. I really don't think so. In terms of what really drives me to put out content, being blunt, like I started YouTube literally because I had a busted up leg and I was not in a good place mentally, and I was scrolling through YouTube, and the people that were doing content back then, this is 2015, the people who were doing content back then were not making the type of content I wanted to see at that point in time. Like there was 1 or 2 channels that were doing like proper explained videos for Naruto, and nobody was doing Naruto what ifs. Like there was a what if fan animation, and I was like, I don't want to see that. I want to see like some what ifs the way that Stupendous Wave does for Star Wars, and the way that Kwaman's World was doing for Dragon Ball. And that was why I got into it. I just wanted to cover Naruto content in my own way. And then when I did like the True Power series, I was getting annoyed where every time I looked up, everybody was doing the calculations, and it's this many pixels and this many septillion boom boom bam bams, and I'm like, that's not what makes Naruto characters so strong. Like sure, it's the meathead aspect, but like Naruto characters have like 1,000 different ways to kill you. Like why isn't anybody talking about that? And so I would focus on that. And then I was like, why isn't anybody talking about the light novels? And so I started doing light novel videos. And when I was looking at Boruto content, I was hit or miss with Boruto because I dropped Boruto after 4 episodes in the anime, and I dropped the manga because I was like, I'm not reading through a manga recap of a movie I just saw a year ago. And so when I would do Boruto videos occasionally when I first started, I only did it because something caught my attention, and I kept getting people in the comment section telling me, man, you really need to give Boruto another shot. You really need to give it another shot. And then like in 2018, when I started this channel, because I lost the other channel, I am getting that one back, but like YouTube like completely reset its algorithm. So it says like 115. It's really about 30,000 subs over there. But getting back to it though, like I started doing more Boruto content here because Roberto Blake and Anime Boss Deep and a few other people are telling me like you really just need to give Boruto another shot and lean heavier into it. I think you got opportunity to grow when you do that. So that led to the Boruto stuff, but I genuinely enjoy Boruto. Early on, I was very critical of it because there were issues I took with the manga. Issues ended up getting addressed, or I became educated about other things when it comes to the manga. So that's where you get that, like in terms of like the lore videos and etc. I'm currently going back through and doing lore videos. So even though like you might know everything that the manga says about Sharingan, the reason why I approached the Sharingan video the way that I did is there are people that forget small things like not every Uchiha can awaken the Sharingan that is stated in the manga. But then there are other things like when I would scroll through and I'm like, nobody's talking about how the Sharingan eye is inspired by not just Buddhism and Shintoism, but also it is inspired by real life ninja stuff from the Nara era of Japan. And so when I do the explain videos, I mix in a lot of the cultural stuff. And I've gotten some compliments from Japanese viewers. And they've told me like, man, I really appreciate the fact that you're talking about this because this is important to us. So that's part of why like I'm going back through, because I strongly believe if you have a deeper understanding of Buddhism, Taoism, Shintoism, and just Japanese history and culture, it changes your perspective on so much of what you get in the Naruto franchise. And especially in Boruto, because like things like Himawari living alone, it's straight up cultural significance. So it's like, that's why I do it. Like, is the money good here on YouTube? Absolutely. But that's not my main driving factor. If it was about money, I would not be doing a explain video that's doing 5 to 10,000 views. That's not bad, but chances are if it's doing 5 to 10,000, I'm either barely breaking even or I'm losing money on it. So why do I continue doing it? Because I do feel like there's so much bad information that is out here, because you have stuff that has high impressions that I'll go through and I'll listen and I'm like, you're fucking up basic aspects of Naruto lore. Or you have these websites like Game Rant, Screen Rant, etc. that are doing these articles and they're fucking up basic aspects of Naruto lore. And so as I've gotten older and as I've been watching the community kind of become more of what the Dragon Ball community was in the late 2000s, early 2010s, I get why Geekdom 101 said screw it and just started doing things like the transformation guide and going through explaining like how Kaioken works and how the Z fighters are really training on King Kai's planet. I understand it now. And so I said, if I'm going to do this, because so many people have done explain stuff, I got to put my own spin on it. So that's how certain videos that might take 5 minutes to explain something end up being 15 minutes. It's not because I'm dragging it out. It's because I want to add new information that you probably don't know. So that's really the motivation for it. And I guess the other thing too is like it's therapeutic. I'm one of those people, I can't chill out. Like if I'm not working, I crash out. I have to be doing something. Let's see what we got here. Dr. Bio 6 Pass says, so you guys got names I can say. I like you guys so far. All right, let's see. Mo2103 says, hey, I'm not going to act like I've been part of the community forever. It doesn't matter. You're part of the community. You could be anywhere, but you are here. And I appreciate you for it. I've only been watching for about 1.5 to 2 years, but ever since I found you, I haven't stopped watching since. You've made both Boruto and Naruto way easier to understand and even more enjoyable than they're already. Mission accomplished. If you say that, mission accomplished. Congrats on your milestone. Looking forward to more content as always. One last thing, since this is already long, hey, say what you got to say. You go. I'm just flattered there are people commenting that want to ask questions, fam. Like, you good with me. I just want to let you know that the consistency and quality with your videos that you maintain daily is mad inspiring, and it pushes me to hold myself to that same standard with my own goals. So thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm not satisfied right now with the quality. Like, I think it's passable, but I eventually want to have it like the 30 videos I do. I want the editing quality be as good as the every Uzumaki clan member and every ice release user all 9 explain videos. I want every video to be of that quality. So I'm trying to hit that standard on everything. And that'll be a goal for 2026, is to start taking more steps towards making that a reality. So that makes me feel like better that you're kind of saying that, you know, like a fun fact about YouTube that like a lot of viewers don't know. 90% of videos that are uploaded on YouTube do not make 1,000 views in their lifetime. 90%. Less than 0.77% of videos uploaded on YouTube hit 100,000 views. So it's one of those things, like a lot of people will look at something and they'll say, oh, it didn't do 100,000 views. It's a bomb. You're talking about a statistical anomaly. Just like there are dumbasses that on Twitter and Reddit and Facebook and TikTok that go, oh, well, Boruto's doing 100,000 volumes per manga. Like, dude, like literally 88% of, it's either 85 or 88% of manga that are released in Japan don't do 10,000 volumes. 100,000 is considered to be a huge success in Japan. Like, if you're doing 100,000 volumes, you are literally, if that's all you sell for your franchise, you're literally in the top 200 of manga sold for the year in terms of series, let alone doing 300,000-400,000 a year. At that point, you're well inside the top 100, but you are below the top 50. I kind of hate this era of social media we're in. We use exceptions to try to make the standard, and especially like on social media, you know, like there are people that they post all the high points and they never post any of the lows, and people measure themselves against it, and it's not healthy. And I feel like it's kind of bled over into just our area as well. I get so annoyed when I see Boruto fans going, why aren't we doing the numbers that One Piece is doing? It's like, dude, One Piece is a fucking statistical anomaly. Like, you don't compare yourself to that, you know? So it's like, yeah, I kind of went all over the place on that. I don't even know if I answered your question, man. I just kind of went off on a tangent. All right, let's see. Teachable Tuesdays 7779 says, you are one of my favorite YouTube content creators, man. I've been watching you for years. What advice would you give to an up-and-coming content creator such as myself? Keep doing your thing, man. It's a pleasure to learn Naruto, Boruto facts and lore from you. You are awesome. Okay, first, thank you for the compliment. Second, if I had to start a channel right now from scratch and had like no benefit of like, hey, you know, check this out, you know, the first thing I would tell you to do is before you even begin promoting the channel, and before you even when you make the channel, before you upload, already have 4 videos done and upload all 4 at the same time, because you're starting at 0 subscribers. Pay attention to title, pay attention to thumbnail. You want your title, and title's something that I struggle with, but pay attention to your title, pay attention to your thumbnail, and when you start promoting it, you want those 4 videos on the channel already, so that when a new viewer stumbles across your video, what they will be able to do is say, oh, okay, there's more content. They can start a binge watching session. When people start binge watching your content, it sends a notice to the algorithm, hey, pay more attention to this channel. Maybe start finding people that are sharing a similar viewer history as this guy. So you want those 4 videos automatically on there. That's number 1. Number 2, be patient. Do not compare yourself to outliers. As I said earlier, 90% of videos uploaded on YouTube do not hit 1,000 views. 0.77% of videos uploaded hit 100,000. the other thing I would say is when you're starting out, if somebody leaves a comment on your video, this is so underrated. If somebody leaves a comment on your video, reply. I can't reply to every comment that is posted here every day, just because I literally get hundreds each day from old videos, new videos, etc. I do make it a point to try and read as many as I can, but I do try to reply, especially if you're there in the first hour of videos up. I try to go through and reply to at least those comments, because somebody leaving a comment, what that's saying is that they liked your content enough to not only watch the video, probably like the video, and also leave a comment, so they want to engage in you. So at least talk to them, because that is a living person on the other side of the screen. And this is a huge ick for me, okay? I do not like how creators my size and bigger will ignore their audience. They won't respond to any comments. I'm a firm believer, if you alienate your audience, they will leave you. And even if they don't leave you, at not responding to at least some comments, it gives the impression, again, this is just my perception, it gives the perception that you're taking the people for granted and I'm better than you. That's how I kind of view it. So, you know, for me, you know, I say put community first. And, you know, the other thing too is, like, for you starting out as a new channel, when you get bigger, not so much, but that counts as engagement. Engagement will help you with growth. So that's what I would say on that. And, you know, the other thing too, just to give you some raw stats, let me pull this up, because I do think that there's a problem where people do not realize channel sizes on YouTube. So here are some facts, and I've got this directly from my partner manager, so this is straight from YouTube itself. And these are also facts that, like, if you are familiar with vidIQ or Roberto Blake and people like that, they'll tell you the same stat. So people have very little idea of how YouTube works, and they use outliers. So 90% of channels have less than 1,000 subscribers on them. And that is active channels. That is channels that they are uploading videos consistently, at least one video a month. At least one video a month. Less than, 90% of them have less than 1,000 subscribers. Not less than 97% of channels do not have 10,000 subscribers. So a channel that has 10,000 subscribers is literally in the top 3% on YouTube. And it doesn't seem like much, because people, they're quick to use outliers to try to establish a norm, and you can't do that. And it's because people don't understand the reality of YouTube. And, like, I would kind of say on that, understand, if you have 500 subscribers, that means that there are 500 people that are willing to listen to you speak. And to appreciate that, think about how many people could fit in a room. Think about how a room looks with 500 people that are speaking to you. If you get to 1,000, that is 1,000 people in a room that speak to you. If you get to 10,000, if you are an entertainer, or if you're speaking at a seminar, that is 10,000 people in an arena that want to speak to you, that want to engage with you, that want to listen to you. So that kind of goes back to my earlier point. I hate that a lot of these bigger channels, they just treat it as business as usual and they ignore their audience. You are not too big, you're not too busy to where you can't reply to comments. So TED Talk over on that. I could go all day on that, man. But I hope that gave you some insight. I hope that was helpful. Strongly recommend Daryl Eves' channel, Roberto Blake's channel, and vidIQ. They have a bunch of free content that is a gold mine. Like, a lot of what I learned about YouTube literally came from watching their free videos. And I know that was a long-winded answer, and the reason why I want to go that in-depth and just give raw data isn't to, like, flex or make anybody feel intimidated. It's the exact opposite, to be honest. Like, I am telling you stuff I wish that somebody told me I started YouTube back in 2015. I wish somebody had told me this stuff when I first started, because I made the mistake I feel like a lot of content creators and viewers make. I was comparing myself to other channels, etc. There are people that started around the same time as me that they grew at a faster rate, and I was like, man, you know, why isn't my stuff doing this? Like, I started around the time that Geekdom 101 did, and I remember going like, damn, you know, Geekdom's all the way up there, you know, what am I doing wrong? Like, everybody walks their own journey, man, and it's just one of those things, like, you have to keep at it and don't let people discourage you, because especially now, like, the thing I've noticed is some of the most negative people and the ones that talk the most shit when you're trying to do something, when you go through and you look at their profiles and everything, like, they're people that they started trying to make content and then they stopped, and it's because they gave up too early. Like that meme about the person digging and stopping right before they find gold or diamonds, etc. That's the case with a lot of people, in my opinion. I think a lot of people give up too soon. I think a lot of people go into it expecting viral videos and viral sensations and etc. when the raw data is what I just gave you. Again, like, it's what, 90% of channels don't have 1,000 subscribers, and active uploads, 0.77% don't hit 100,000 views. Like, you can't use measurements like that, because if you go in expecting that, you're going to set yourself up for failure. And I'm a big proponent of what Oda wrote in One Piece about Blackbeard, about a man chasing their dreams. And I want to see everybody successful. I'm always an open book. Like, I have helped channels behind the scenes in terms of smaller content creators where they DM me and they say, hey, like, what can I do for growth purposes? Like, am I growing as fast as I was a couple years ago? No, but I'm still steady growing though. As long as you're not stagnating in the sense that you're not getting any impressions on videos. Like, if you're getting impressions but the views aren't matching up, that means that you got to play with titles. So I'm playing with titles. That means you got to play with thumbnails. So I'm experimenting with different thumbnails, because every impression means that there's an opportunity that somebody could have clicked, and for whatever reason they didn't. And it usually comes down to title and thumbnail. It comes down to the presentation in that regard. And so I said to say, I want to see everybody succeed. And I feel like that raw information is something that can go a long way towards helping somebody. Because like the Everything One Piece Explained channel having 5,000 or just under 5,000 subscribers might not seem like a big deal, but when you look at how many channels don't even hit that much, that is a big deal. Having 2 channels over 100,000 subscribers is a really big deal. So my biggest thing to you, my guy, is upload 4 videos before you even start promoting it. Like when you first upload your first video, have 4 videos on there. Pick a schedule that you can stick to. And number 1, don't fake it. If you love what you're talking about, it ain't gonna feel like work. I've been talking Naruto for 10 years and I'm still not done because I just love Naruto this much. Like I have 1,400 Naruto videos uploaded. It's because it's something I'm passionate about. People can tell when you're faking. Do not fake it. Talk about what you're passionate about, but also listen to your audience. Again, I would love to talk more Naruto content than Boruto. I enjoy Boruto. I like Naruto more, but I also know that a majority of my audience wants Boruto content. So I do what the audience says. Pay attention to click-through rate. Pay attention to retention. Pay attention to what's bringing in more casual viewers, and more importantly, what's bringing in more new viewers. On my channel right now, like there's 45% of the people that watch the channel out of the 5 to 6 million views I get each month, about 45% of that is unsubscribed viewers. So I look to see what it is that those unsubscribed viewers are watching, and I say, okay, maybe I need to cater to them in this regard. Like, jump forward and do it, and don't let anybody discourage you. If somebody tries to put you down, respectfully tell them to suck your dick. And I'm gonna leave off on this one just in this regard, because again, I'm going to answer all of these. I'm adding this part right now. Yeah, so I'm adding this part in right now post recording. Like, dude, I answered all the questions except for like 30. There's like 2.5 hours worth of audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this Q&A here, and then I'm going to come back with another one. So people like Monica, if I didn't get to you here, I'm getting to you in the next video, and the video after that, and the video after that. I'm going to go through as many of these. The ones I did not answer, I just replied to you in the comment section. But thank you so much for 450,000 subscribers. It's been a hell of a journey. We are, as of this post-recording note now, we are 7 years on Naruto Explained, and we are coming up on 10 years on YouTube. So I big time appreciate you guys.